guys, welcome back to my channel, The Inked Reader. I have an Unhal. You might have seen that I have posted very recently what I'm going to do next year in regards to my TBR, and as a result of that I rearranged my bookshelves, and when I was cleaning and rearranging everything, I had a chance to go through each of my shelves and decide which book I want to keep and which books I didn't want to keep. I'm going to show you those books, but they are a lot. A lot of those books I have read and I am probably was very like a 3 stars or even a 4 stars, but for whatever reason I'm not going to keep, and I'm going to explain why I'm not keeping them, but I am not going to give you any synopsis for any of these books, otherwise we would be here forever, and I want to be short. And I know that a lot of people do not like book hauls, or that a lot of people find them controversial, so I just wanted to clarify while I go through the books why I'm getting rid of them. And with getting rid of them means that I'm just gonna probably bring them to a charity shop. I'm not even gonna bother selling them because on Amazon it's been a nightmare selling these, and what you have to pay basically to send them off is even sometimes more than the book is worth. And if you have any platform that you're using to sell your books, do let me know. Yeah, without further ado, let's get through them. So the first one is A Second Chance by Jodie Taylor. This is a very lengthy series and it's about time travel. And when I was looking at my shelves, I was like, this is, I moved in a new house and I am likely to be in this house for the foreseeable future, and I just have limited space and I need to keep only the books that I will either reread, either I want to share with others, so just pass on, or books I've not read yet. And I don't have time to keep books that I read the first one, they weren't like my favorite thing either. I've always loved the premise, and I think I've got book number 1 and 3 in the series. For whatever reason I didn't have book number 2, and I don't want to spend money on a book that I might potentially not even enjoy if it was as the first one. It is a pity. I do realize that other people love this series, and I might try maybe on audiobook, I won't keep the physical books. And a couple of I don't even know where I got them. I think I got them on Amazon second hand, probably third, fourth, fifth hand. These are all books that I became interested when I started studying forensic psychology back 4 years ago in my undergrad. So I bought Killers on the Loose, which is Unsolved Cases of Serial Murders. I've read these. I know all about unsolved cases now, and I don't need to keep these. This is probably definitely something that goes at the charity shop. I'm not going to sell that. And the same as Monster of Death Row. It's basically a list of people that were on death row. This is dated 2003, so these are all the guys on death row in 2003, and I think I've read through these, and the disappointing thing was that it gives you literally basically nothing about them. So it just says they're on death row and this is why, but very, very briefly, and that was not what I was looking for, so definitely don't need to keep these. The next one is actually an Italian book that I am not interested in reading. This was a gift, and this is Caravaggio Enigma in Italian, but it's called in English Caravaggio Without Hope or Fear, and I looked online at the reviews and they were not that great. So yeah, getting rid of these. Now the next one, don't get mad at me. I'm not getting rid of it because I didn't like it. I'm just getting rid of it because I've got copies. The trilogy is in all different editions and copies, and some are paperbacks, some are hardbacks, and I want to buy them properly in matching editions. So one day, if I find a set of a set, I will buy them again. The first one actually is even in Italian, and this is the Daughter of Smoke and Bone saga by Jodie Taylor. I did love this series, and I want to keep this series. I just want to have in matching editions. So I'm not gonna keep one Italian hardcover, and you'll see in a second, and one weird English hardcover. I've always loved these, but I couldn't find the third book in the series like these. And then somewhere, actually here, I've got the third in a paperback version. Like, this is not acceptable. I don't mind sometimes if my editions are particularly beautiful or maybe they're out of print, but there's nothing special about any of these. This is not acceptable. Lola and the Boy Next Door. I have read this trilogy, didn't mind it, I did like it. It was 3.5 stars. I would still recommend this for younger readers that are looking for like a romance YA, and it's a companion series, but I will never reread these. And I didn't love them to pieces enough for me to say, I want to keep them forever. It's time to go. It's time for them to go. The only reason why I'm getting rid of The Prisoners of Haven is because this was actually up in my bookshelves, up, and I bought another copy when I had to read this because I couldn't find it, and I am too short, even with a ladder, to reach out. So actually I had to ask my neighbor to give me a higher ladder so I could reach out, clean up there, and I saw that I had actually now 2 copies of these, so I don't need another copy. Yeah, this is the third and final book in the Anna and the French Kiss trilogy companion books. So I really like the third book. I think I was a minority when it came down to liking this book, but I really did enjoy these. And again, I like the covers. So, but yeah, it's the same that I had with Lola and the Boy Next Door. Now for The Truth About Life as a Killer. I don't even know if this is a fiction or not. I think it's a fiction book. I don't know. Or maybe it's the author recounting basically his story on how he became like a convicted offender after he stabbed someone. And I've read these and I found it was okay. I think it was eye-opening for what it was. And again, I bought these back then when I started becoming interested in forensic psychology. So I read these. I just don't need to keep it, if it makes sense. It wasn't I didn't tab it or anything, so it wasn't that special, but people will benefit from reading these 100%. Getting rid of the next one because all my copies of the other books of the series are in Italian, and I really like the matching covers that came out for Mortal Instruments series. You know, the ones with the bridge or whatever. I do really like those copies, and I want to get my hands on the matching covers. And I just randomly owned these after all of these I have back in Italy in Italian. There's no point in me keeping these. I've read these ages ago. I need to get myself matching covers, so when I want to reread it or pass it on, it's gonna be proper. Then I have Fever Dream. This is a standalone graphic novel by George R.R. Martin, and of course I reached for it because, you know, because it's Martin, and I love Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones is one of my favorite series ever, and I'll show you some of the art. However, this is about vampires. And I didn't love these at all, and I don't need to keep these. So yeah, it's going. I need to be very strict on what I want to keep, because one day, again, when the space is going to be filled up, I will struggle to find a place for books and graphic novels. So I don't want to keep things that were not good or that I will not revisit. Same for this. I debated so much if I want to get rid of this. This is from Hell, and I recently wrapped this up in November, sorry. 2021 wrap up, and this is based on a conspiracy theory around Jack the Ripper. So it's a historical crime novel, and the art in this didn't really work for me, and I'm not a big fan of this conspiracy theory either. I do see the fascination with it, but I'm not a big fan of it, just because I have studied and research Jack the Ripper, the true story, so much that I'm kind of like, conspiracy theory, I'm not the biggest fan. They are entertaining, I do give you that, but they was so boring, these for 3/4. The style is not for me. I will never ever reread these. And actually, although it's stunning, outside is stunning, I don't need to keep these. Okay, need to speed up because I need to go. Monster. This is a crime thriller manga, and although I do like the art a lot, it clicked with me the wrong way, because we know who the culprit, the bad guy, is from the beginning, and I don't know, everybody loves these and I didn't, and I will not probably spend my money on a very long series, although it's stunning. This can go to a home that will be loved. The Blue Abyss, something that I've read for my domestic violence video that I was making, and this is a true story of someone who's escaped a domestic violent relationship. Don't need to keep these. The other two I'm gonna get rid of because I won't reread again, and I can never find the third book matching these covers. I try to acquire it and they always send me the new covers, which is super annoying. So Shadow and Bone and Siege and Storm, I've listened to the third one because I couldn't find the third copy. There is no way I can find it in here list. I'm not gonna struggle through it. It was just an average 3.5 series. I really like the ending, and if I want to, I can always watch a TV show, right? I don't need to keep this. Rebel Bell by Rachel Hawkins. This is YA urban fantasy that was going around ages ago when I started following BookTube, and I never continued on with the second. I heard bad things about the sequel, so I never continued on, but I did enjoy this one very much. And again, if you're in target audience on the younger side of YA, I still recommend this. The Chocolate War. This is a children's classic that I'm just not interested in reading. It came with in a set, and I decided that some books in that set I wasn't interested in reading. Power Play, bought this when I was into romance and all of that. I don't know, I guess it's about rich boss guy falls in love with the secretary or something. Not gonna read this. And it's the kind of books that I gets on my nerve these days, so I'm not gonna go for it. Nowhere But Here. This is a companion series by Katie McGarry, and it's about a motorcycle gang, and Sons of Anarchy, the TV show, is my favorite TV show ever. So when I knew this was kind of inspired by it, I wanted to give it a try, and I did like this. I gave it probably 4 stars. However, I tried the sequel and couldn't get into it, and it was like, do I need to keep a series, or was just like, read it, I liked it, I would recommend it to if you are into YA romance. It's nothing to do with Sons of Anarchy though, but I don't need to keep it. It's just not rereadable. Pivot Point, another YA. This is based on the movie Sliding Doors, I believe. So the premise is the same, where this girl, all of a sudden, she can see 2 futures, so what she would have done or who she would end up with if she had made one different choice. And I thought the premise sounds nice. I am just not too much fascinated by it, and it's just one that I think like, I've not heard great things about it or anything. I don't know. I'm not reaching out for it, and it's been years and years. I don't need to keep it. Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy. I read this, it was okay, didn't blow my mind, and I don't need to keep it. It's simple as that. I like the series, I like the main series. I'm not a huge fan of short stories. An Abundance of Catherines by John Green. This is one of the John Greens that I didn't like that much, and I kept it all these years, and I don't need to keep it anymore. Blood and Honey. This was a sequel to a book that I listened to audiobook. I really enjoyed it, the first book in the series, then acquired the physical hardcover copy for the second. It was a disappointment, so now I decided that I'm going to listen to the third one, and I might keep this in a limbo, but I'm probably getting rid of this unless the third one just blows my mind and I want to buy the whole series. Shatter Me. I have listened to the sequels on audio, liked the series. It was like a 3 stars, 3.5 stars. I'm not in the age range, and dystopians are not my thing. So although it was okay, I'm never going to reread it, and I don't want to acquire all the series, so I just have the first one, and there's no point in me keeping just the first one. In the Miso Soup. Read this for my Japanese horror TBR challenge. Didn't really like this. I don't need to keep this. I can watch the TV show for this. I like this enough, but I'm never gonna reread this. Children of Blood and Bone. Liked this enough. It was a 4 stars. I love the cover so much, but I'm not inclined to pick up the sequel and read the sequel, and I don't need to keep a book of a series that I will never continue. Prisoners of Fear. I really enjoy the cover. I really like the cover of these, and that's why I kept keeping it. I acquired and read the second book in my finishing series TBR, which I wrapped up on my channel already, and the sequel was just okay. Never gonna read these, and I cannot keep a book just because of the under jackets. Like I can, but not this book in particular. The Huntress. C. Charity shop finding. Never get around to read it. I'm not interested. I will give it away. Another book I'm not interested in reading. All the Bright Places. I've heard too many mixed reviews, and I found this in a charity shop, so I don't feel too bad about getting rid of these, and I think there is a movie for this, so I can always watch the movie instead. The next one are gonna be upsetting for somebody. So listen, I've loved the trilogy, like I really like the trilogy, but I really like the movies, and I'm not gonna reread these, unfortunately. So yes, I still love you. All the trilogy is going. You're gonna see in a second. I cherished these. Came at a time in my life where I was really enjoying this genre, and I did enjoy them for what they were. But now the movies are out, and I'm gonna always reach for the movie instead of rereading the book in this case, and I don't need to keep these, but they are stunning. I do recommend them for if you are into YA romance. They are brilliant, so please do check them out if you haven't. They are famous for a reason. I just don't need to keep them. On the same note of getting rid of children's books or classics like The Pearl or Not Turning Back that I'm just not interested in reading, and I just got them in the book box, not because I was looking for that. I was looking for The Outsider, and then they were so cheap I bought them all. Don't need to keep them though. In the Palace of Flowers by Victoria Princewell. This is a book that I acquired from my book club, and it's a 2021 new release, and this girl can write, and I will keep an eye out for more of her work. But this book overall had a lot of plot holes, and I discussed this in my November wrap-up, so I'm not gonna keep it just because I will never read it. But I got down all the quotes, and I got down a very good discussion from my book club, so I'm happy I read this. But this can find a new home where it will be loved, and it's in perfect conditions, and I'm gonna keep an eye out for more books by the author. The King of Crows by Libba Bray. This is the final book in the Diviner Quartet. I have matching covers for the first 3 books. I'm gonna get rid of it so I can acquire the matching book, the paperback Australian edition when it comes out. And the last one, the Once and Future Witches. Actually, this one, and the next one are all whole unwhole. So you saw them is in my actual book haul, but I already mentioned I was gonna get rid of it. Yeah, read these, it was just a 3 stars. Love the writing, not so much the plot. I don't need to keep these, and probably I can sell these, and it can find a lovely home. And the last one that was a whole unwhole is Goth by Otsuki. I read a short story collection by him, really enjoyed it, and I don't need to continue on. But this one, which is basically short stories but with the same protagonist throughout, resolving mysteries, I didn't love it as much. I will never reach out for it anymore, but I'm gonna try and sell this because it was very hard to come by. So I feel very bad for not loving this as much as I wish I had. And that was it, guys. I really need to go, but thank you for watching. I hope this doesn't upset you. All these books were either loved and read, and they just won't be reread by me, so they can be read and cherished by somebody else, or are books that I'm not interested in reading, and I wish they will go to homes where they will be read properly and cherished properly. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time. Ciao.